Good morning. I'm Marge, a Unity of In Lynnwood prayer chaplain. Welcome. Welcome to this time of silent meditation. Whether you're part of our virtual online community or are here in our chancel, welcome. Welcome to this beautiful sacred space. This sacred time to come away from busyness and the distractions of the holiday season. Come away to quietness and peace. Become aware of the beauty of this holy space. I invite you to settle with comfort in your chairs or wherever you are seated. Take several deep breaths and let them out with a sigh. Drop your breath down into your heart and slow your breathing. This is a time of quiet waiting for the advent of reborn Christ consciousness. Let your mind expand in every direction with expectancy, with pure awareness. Take this sense of expectancy into the silence. Gently bring yourselves back into this physical space and gently open your outer eyes. Breathe deeply. Embrace the knowing that you are on a path of light, a path filled with the expectancy of this Advent season. We remain open and receptive to the movement of Spirit as we welcome and bless our church family. We affirm that divine grace and love enfolds everyone here today. We bless and are grateful for those who serve, with special thanks and gratitude to Dr. Richard for sharing his words and Matthew Wilson for sharing the beautiful music. We release everything into prayer, and so it is.
At this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everyone is seen. At this table, everybody matters. No one falls between. At this table, you can say whatever. At this table, you can speak your mind. At this table, everything's forgiven. There's enough for everyone. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. At this table, there will be no judgment. At this table, mercy has a seat. At this table, we're all sons and daughters. There's no place I'd rather be. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are.
Welcome and good morning. Let's begin our time together by taking a few minutes to open ourselves up to joy. I invite you to get as comfortable as you possibly can. Shift in your seat, adjust your position until you can relax as much as possible in your chair. Now, gently close your eyes if you like, or focus softly on something in front of you. Simply listen to the sound of my voice, allowing feelings of comfort, peace, and calm to expand fully within your body. As you take a breath in, let it bring you into this present moment, right here and right now. All there is this moment. This is a time for you to explore the fullness of that moment. As you take your next breath, scan your body from the top of your head, moving down through your neck, shoulders, arms, hands, checking in for any areas that might be trying to tell you something. And if you find anything challenging, let that sensation go. On your next breath, move your awareness through your torso, abdomen, and hips. If you sense anything, just exhale it out gently. Inhaling again, and scan your thighs and hamstrings, knees, calves, and feet. Allow yourself to release any tension or tightness as you exhale. As you settle in, generously give your body gratitude for all that it does. On your next breath, imagine a small white light at the crown of your head, filling you from above. Feel this light begin to permeate your body with each breath, letting this beautiful warmth flow down into your body. Feel it pulsating with this warm golden light. As we navigate these shortest days of the year, seeing and honoring this internal light is a wonderful way to connect you with everything and everyone. See this light radiating through your body and gradually extending out beyond the boundaries of yourself. Imagine it spreading all over everyone around you, seeping out into every corner of the sanctuary or your room and out into the world. Breathe in calm, balance, and peace. Exhale love to yourself and to everyone around you. Feel that love as it fills the room and send it out to all our online friends as well. Feel that connection through your entire being as you receive that love from those around you. Let this love remind you that this is why we come together, to remember and honor this connection to the light and love that we share. And so it is.
So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. Come as you are. At this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everybody cares. At this table, everybody matters. So come, pull up a chair. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. What an exciting day this is. Thanks for being with us. Will you join me in singing You Are the Light as we welcome our youth? You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. All right. Would you mind coming on stage here so we can see you? Thanks. Little stage fright, that's okay. Hi. Yeah, thanks for being here. So let's hold Stacy in blessing. She's not feeling well, so she had to go home today, but we are still having a party in the Friendship Hall for our youth. No, you can't leave. You have to stay in here with us, but they're going to have fun having a party. All right. Will you join me in saying our youth blessing and stand as you are able? You are the light in this world. Let it shine so bright. And as the youth exit, let's greet one another while respecting sticker colors. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. Let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Can we give another round of applause for our choir? Yeah. It's great when the choir actually outnumbers the congregation. It's fantastic. You'll get to hear more of them on Christmas Eve. So.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but that brought a tear to my eye. That was beautiful. Wow. I'm so impressed. And just that we're back and singing and together and so awesome. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. Excuse me if I'm jabbing my nose along the way, but it's better than the alternative, let me tell you. I feel like I haven't seen y'all from this perspective in a while, so I'm super excited. But my job now is to welcome each and every one of you, whether you're here live or out in internet land somewhere, because I can see some loving smiles. I can see people hiding in the back of the room, and I can see you. I can see you out there. I can. We extend this welcome to all, regardless of anything that appears to separate us, whether you wear a cross or a Star of David around your neck, whether you listen to Oprah or Joel Osteen, or if you love Robert or Emily or Zorro or a big dog named Hank. It really doesn't matter here. Sometimes, though, I ask myself, what stands in the way of my truly extending myself and opening my heart? In a word, for me, it's Little Miss Judgy Judy, or Jessica, or James, or Jamal. Think about it. From the time we can verbalize, we are asked to discern our favorite color, book, teacher, friend, you name it. Before preschool, we have figured out that we don't like Aunt Myrtle's suffocating hugs or her cream Brussels sprouts. And by the time we reach puberty, we've got a list as long as our arm that explains who and what we will tolerate. Things like honor what we love, what we worship, what we eat. Yeah, don't believe me? Try this experiment. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Just look out the window, take a walk, find a place to watch the world go by. Simply pay attention to your internal monologue. Mine goes something like this. Where did she get those shoes? Can't he train that dog? That is the funniest looking Santa I've ever seen. Why don't they trim that hedge? I'm sure my stepmother will not like this Christmas present that I spent days picking out. I'm such a loser. Don't they realize you're supposed to bring your trash bins in on Thursday? You get the picture, right? Think, if you will, given this time of year, of old Ebenezer Scrooge. I would argue that it's not his miserliness that's at the root of his meanness, but his judginess. Because more often than not, our internal judge is not thinking, oh, isn't that sweet? Or what a lovely person? Or isn't such and such so divine? Yeah, I know some of you out there are like that, and you can help me, okay? Anyway, getting back to Scrooge, it was his inherent dislike and bah humbugness that were his true downfall. Imagine if we could become aware enough to stop that chatter. to cease the judging, to notice the energy we create for the world and ourselves. What if we could take the time to replace those random judging thoughts with ideas of kindness and compassion? And how about if we think before we actually say something? What if we ask ourselves, is it kind, before the words come tumbling out of our mouths? And if we are the recipient of a harsh word or an unkind comment, can we pause before we react? Imagine if we could give this gift of acceptance and welcome and kindness wherever and however we interact with one another. I'm going to try to give that gift to all this holiday season, and I hope you'll join me in giving it as well. Thanks.
So as we prepare for the winter solstice upcoming, I came across this song and thought it was a perfect representation of that. Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin wrote it, and hope you enjoy. Deep in the darkest winter night, here with my candle burning, cozy and warm inside the light, now that the year is turning. What does the future hold in store? Where has our journey brought us? How can we learn from what's gone before? What has experience taught us? We are the future. We can reach for the stars. We feel at home in our own backyards. We want to be who we are. Friendship will light the darkest hours. True love will hold the vision. Peace and goodwill on earth is ours. Let it be our decision. Of creation, lover of shadow and light, sing us the songs of a billion stars, silently all through the night. Deep in the darkest winter night, here with my candle burning, cozy and warm inside the light, now that the year is turning. Feel how the year is turning. La da la da la da la la. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Nice. It's one of the great joys of a human incarnation to get to do that with him. Special thanks to the choir. Special thanks to your amazing, amazing crew. Crew on the floor, crew up above. Thank you. Thank you for making this possible. If you are a member of our online sanctuary this morning, we invite you to open your social media chat window. Identify your geography of origin. Give us a first name. Allow your social media host to extend a formal welcome to you. Thank you, Elizabeth. What a joy to have you back. I don't know about you. Your words spoke to me this morning. My judgy self tends to come behind the wheel of the car and in the grocery store? What is it about your history that would make you think you can park a shopping cart sideways is how my judgy self often begins. Unity in Lynnwood, I begin with words of gratitude for the privilege, yet again, of basking in the immense depths of you. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. You are the highlight of my week. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. You know what, I'll back up. Christmas morning, you are invited to come as you are. And that means you're welcome to wear pajamas. Okay? Bring a $5 wrapped gift that has some significance to you if you would like to participate in a Christmas morning gift exchange. It is absolutely not necessary. Hot cocoa will be served. It will be a different flavor of service. Now, practical spirituality, welcoming community, that mission statement, so short in words, so deep in meaning. Every week I like to support this mission statement with one of the 6 values statements, if you will, that we developed with each other and with your board of trustees in late 2014. Take a deep breath. Does this belong to you? Is this a consciousness with which you can align? Today I offer the 6th of those 6 statements, and it reads as follows. We welcome people. We could just stop right there. We welcome people from all spiritual traditions or from no spiritual tradition whatsoever into every activity of our community. That welcome is extended to members of our online audience this morning, including Karen and Polsbo and Ursula in Florida, the Petersons with an exclamation point. I think that means the Petersons are extremely here. Chris Castaldi, Tatiana in Lynnwood, Mindy in Cannon Beach. In-house audience, would you extend words of welcome to our virtual sanctuary this morning by repeating after me, we see you. We see you. We see the truth of you. We see the truth of you. We see the light of you. We see the light. We see the very highest potential of you.
We see the very highest potential of you.
We welcome 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 you.
If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of our time together, and you are a member of our physical sanctuary, join a chaplain in this geography that you might have a face. May I ask the chaplains in service to you this morning simply to raise a hand or to stand, please. Thank you, chaplains. If you are a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning and you desire to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, start the process by writing prayer at unityinlynnwood.org. Include a working telephone number and expect a call within a couple hours. Words of invocation. Take them in the manner best suited to you today. You may close your eyes and allow them to, in a sense, have their way with you. You're welcome to read them with me quietly or enthusiastically. There are high-class problems in today's world. Did you know that? You want to know what one of them is? One of the high-class problems in today's world is the sound of happy children. Let us give thanks for the high-class problem of happy children. Let us give thanks. Words of invocation read as follows. Though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. Pause with that. Pause with that. Allow that not to be meaningless sound. Human in expression, limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. And so it is. And so it is. In earlier traditions, a virgin birth commonly signaled the arrival of a divine human. In Egypt, Horus was born to a virgin. In Greek tradition, Alexander the Great was born to a virgin. In Tibet, we had Indra. In India, Krishna. In Phrygia, Attis. In Siam, Cottam was conceived when a wandering sunbeam caressed a girl. In China, the divine Fohi was conceived when a lotus plant caressed a nymph while she was frolicking in a river. One story of Lao Tzu is that he was conceived when a falling star impregnated his mother. She's understood to have given birth to him from her left armpit while leaning against a plum tree. Can you imagine trying to explain that one? Honest, Daddy, there was this star. I love this. We're getting sunglasses. That is a consciousness of service in action right there. Thank you, Michelle Van Eyck, distributing sunglasses. Pythagoras, Plato, Sargon, Perseus, Miletus, even Zeus, who sired so many other virgin-born heroes that he was called Zeus Marnus, or virgin-born Zeus. Now for the Apostle Paul, a Roman citizen, you understand, whose accounts predate the gospel writers by at least a couple decades, the birth of Jesus for him was relatively mundane. In his letters to a couple of his early communities, Galatia, Rome, the birth is described in unremarkable terms. But by the time the author of the gospel we call Matthew jotted down his version, the birth of Jesus had been assigned as a virgin birth, and our Mary joined the ranks of Athena and Aphrodite, Venus, Ishtar, Diana, and so many more. Now, this sweeping mythological formula of a virgin impregnated by God, giving birth to a God person, is a trope that has emerged across traditions. It has endured across centuries. Since taking root in the Christian tradition, the story of the Virgin Mary, impregnated by God in spirit form, giving birth to the baby Jesus amidst signs and wonders has become at least one of the most celebrated and cherished stories in the world. Now, if you haven't been with us over the first 3 weeks of Advent, this nativity narrative presents shepherds, Jewish peasants from the local hills, I imagine. They obeyed the call of angels. They obeyed inspiration, we might say, presented in a manner which they could accept. Theirs is a story of that higher idea which already exists for each of us if we will but find enough nighttime, that is, if we will but find enough quiet to hear it. If we will but find enough quiet to hear it. This nativity narrative presents magi. These unlikely candidates were Gentile scientists who obeyed the call of a star. They obeyed inspiration, if you will, presented in a manner which they could accept. Theirs is a story of that higher idea which already exists for each of us if we will but lift our eyes high enough over the horizon of current circumstances to see it. Now, it could be said that these two together, these are stories of availability and obedience, two sides of the same coin, maybe. After all, what value has availability without obedience? Would our shepherd story have endured if it just ended with the angels? There's some angels. Merry Christmas. Would our Magi story have endured if it just ended with the star? Well, there's a star. Merry Christmas. Now, of course not. Of course not, because those would be horrible stories. And they are horrible stories in a sense. We've all known those who get those higher ideas, but in their unwillingness to obey those higher ideas eventually pass to a more obedient soul, leaving people asking questions such as, I wonder how my life could have been different if only. We've all known some of those people. These stories endured because both the shepherds and the Magi demonstrated availability to inspiration, an inspiration which presented itself to each in a manner which each could accept, and they obeyed inspiration. I received a great email this week. Seated among us this morning is one who I think demonstrates this quite beautifully on the cover of a magazine called The Third Act. The story is set forth of one who, at the age of 50, caught a higher idea, and courageously obeyed it. If you would be interested in celebrating one, have a look online at a magazine called The Third Act and celebrate our cherished friend, Art Johnson. Congratulations, Art. On the cover. Never been on the cover of anything. It was on the cover of my version. Now, let me say that it strikes me, stay with me on this, it strikes me as a wonderful attribute of godness that inspiration didn't come to the Magi as an angel, and that inspiration didn't come to the shepherds as a star. It strikes me as a wonderful attribute of godness that inspiration comes to the Eastern and to the Western, to the Jew, to the Christian, to the Buddhist and the naturist, to the Taoist, the Confucian, and yes, to the agnostic and the atheist, in a manner which each can accept. Now, can we really read this into these stories? I would like to suggest that absolutely we can. Inspiration comes to all in a manner which each can accept. Together, the Jewish shepherds of the West and the Gentile scientists of the East remind us of our oneness within God. They remind us of unity's first tenet, I would say, that there is indeed a singular ground of all being. Your tradition differs from my tradition because you differ from me. Diversity among traditions, you see, is just as divinely ordained as diversity among humans. Now, it's at this particular juncture that our narrative presents the Virgin Mary. Now, this is a woman of such import, such sweeping import, that her name is referenced more often in the Quran than in the Holy Bible. It's at this juncture in our infancy narrative that the angel says to Mary, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. The holy offspring to be born of you will be called Son of God. Now, I've said this every year, and I'll say it again. I'll say it again because I think it bears repeating. By all worldly accounts, Mary was ill prepared and ill equipped. An underage peasant girl, just imagine the arguments she could have made. And I have to tell you, I love it that Mary was ill-prepared and ill-equipped. I love it that Mary was ill-prepared and ill-equipped, because while we tend to reject these as deficits to be overcome, I would suggest that our narrative presents them as necessities to be embraced. Ill-prepared and ill-equipped are powerful positions for transformation. For it's only when we recognize that of our ego selves, we are ill-prepared and ill-equipped, that our spiritual selves are freed to step into those resources which transcend our own. Humility and power are fond bedfellows, you see. Humility and power are fond bedfellows. I would go so far as to argue that at every pinnacle moment, at every jump point in human evolution, you will find at least one soul who was wildly ill-prepared and completely ill-equipped. Change cannot rise from a comfortable status quo wisdom. This is why people experience what they like to call beginner's luck. There is no beginner's luck. There is only beginner's mind. There is only the mind that understands its place within the greater mind we call God, And by virtue of that, understanding is beautifully positioned as a vehicle for something of great good. There is no beginner's luck. There is only beginner's mind. So you see, in a world marked with greed and everything that greed begets, selfishness, inequity, oppression, cruelty, an angel announced a pregnancy which symbolized a higher idea for nothing short of a new world order. And with the angel's announcement and what I would offer as a pinnacle moment to these nativity narratives, Mary responded by saying, "Let it be. Let it be. Let it be." So taken together, it could be said that these are stories of availability, obedience, and something of a humble acceptance. For what value have availability and obedience without acceptance? The world is brimming with people standing at the edge of their own fullness, pointing at what could be. What value have acceptance and obedience, availability and obedience without acceptance? So whether we consider the prophecy of Isaiah or the story of Matthew, whether we consider the prophecy of a young woman of marriageable age or the story of a virgin impregnated by God in spirit form, there really is a common thread. Both are tales of a hopeful triumph rising from a daunting circumstance. Both are tales of a profound light rising from a lingering darkness, metaphysically speaking. In other words, there is a layer of wisdom in this from which we can conclude, metaphysically speaking, what happened yesterday in Bethlehem is what happens today in each one of us. Even now, the heavenly hosts sing to you. Even now, stars point for you. Even now, an angel whispers. Even now, an angel whispers. And as our shepherds remind us that we will have to get quiet, and as our magi remind us that we will have to look up, so too does Mother Mary remind us that we ultimately will have to say yes. We will have to humbly and courageously say yes. The higher ideas that would be realized through you require that we be available, that we be obedient, and that we be willing. Our stories remind us that ultimately we will have to find a consciousness capable of saying, "Let it be, let it be, let it be." Take a deep breath with me. We will offer a time of deeper reflection, a time of meditation. Shelley Frederick will lead this. And as she does, your prayer chaplains will simply position themselves around the room, holding you in high consciousness. If you're comfortable doing so, place your feet on the floor. Let's just follow the breath. And again. And again, if you're like me, the the body experiences something of a softening, something of a slowing. We follow the breath. If you're like me, I might even begin to experience the body as expanding.
The angel Gabriel appeared to a virgin who was betrothed to a man named Joseph. Joseph was from the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel Gabriel said to Mary, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. The holy offspring to be born of you will be called the Son of God. And in his first whisperings to Mary, before any other words could be heard, the angel offered, 'Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.' And each of us can relate to Mary. Each of us can relate to those moments in which life seems to choose for us, when life seems to dictate an entirely new path. Each of us can relate to those moments when the security of all we've known erodes, when the comfort of all we've foreseen evaporates, when things change. Each of us can relate to those moments when we recognize that we have traversed to the very edge of our humanity. And it is in these moments that the angel assures and encourages, 'Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Trust even in this.'
Don't be afraid. You who would see an angel today, no need to fear. I'm but an angel and I draw near. I bring a blessing, faithful and true. The Son of God is living in you. For you are highly favored and blessed. Yes, you are highly favored and blessed. Don't be afraid.
The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. The holy offspring to be born of you will be called the Son of God. And in his first whisperings to Mary, before any other words could be heard, the angel offered, 'Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.' And each of us can relate to Mary. Each of us can relate to those moments in which we, ill-prepared and ill-equipped as we might be, feel the pull of a higher idea, seeking recognition and realization through us. Like our magi and like our shepherds, we see that star. we hear those angels, inspiration beckoning us beyond the seeming safety of our lives, which we have known, inspiration pulling us to step into the holy revelation which has been entrusted to us to reveal. And it's in these moments that the angel assures and encourages, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Trust, even in this.
Don't be afraid, you who would see an angel today. No need to fear, I'm but an angel and I draw near. I bring a blessing, faithful and true. The Son of God is living in you. For you are highly favored and blessed. Yes, you are highly favored and blessed. Don't be afraid.
The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. The holy offspring to be born of you will be called the Son of God. And in his first whisperings to Mary, before any other words could be heard, the angel offered, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So yes, and yet again, what happened in Bethlehem yesterday is what happens to us today. For even now, the angel whispers, and our souls, like Mary's body, are called to step into the thing. May we have the courage to heed her example by saying, let it be, let it be.
Peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
If that doesn't fill your soul, I'm not sure what will. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Matthew, Dr. Richard, Shelley, prayer chaplains. That was extraordinary. I knew that song would make me cry. It never fails. So bear with me. Pull it together. Get it together, girl. This is now the time that we'd like to give you the opportunity to give back to this extraordinary community. I think many of us have been practicing recently living a prosperity consciousness, and it seems like it's starting to really, feel like it. It's been quite extraordinary. Believing in the natural abundance of the universe seems counter to really what so many of us grew up with and the messages we received as children. It takes a real mindset switch and a lot of diligence to make that change to a prosperity mindset, but it's sure worth the payoff, pun intended. Recognizing that giving leads to feelings of wealth of many kinds is a huge realization for many of us. So I invite you to practice that fundamental law of prosperity right here and now. The giving options are up on the screen. If you would like information about Unity in Lynnwood's programs of regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, yes, there's a difference, please write Dr. Richard directly. And for those already participating in Unity in Lynnwood's Giver Circle, we extend a special thanks.
You know, it's interesting how you miss certain things, and one being a past offering. I actually missed the past offering ritual, and so we will be bringing that back in January. So if you'll join me in singing Blessed Always. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say that we rest in God and say amen.
Thank you. Have a couple of announcements, but before we get there, we'd like to recognize anyone who might be new or newer today. Do we have anybody who's here for the first time? Would like to identify themselves? I see no hands. Okay. All right. Oh! Well, if you are new or newer, we invite you to, number one, visit our welcome information station. Join us in Friendship Hall for a little chat and some coffee after service. Also, in the seat pockets in front of you, there's some information cards. And if you are new or newer, feel free to stop by the Soul Things for a free copy of the Daily Word, which is lots of nice daily inspirations. So, to those announcements. Up on the screen, you should be seeing, yes, we have all of our small group ministries right there up on the screen for you to see. Third act, Bring Your Own Bag Lunch, which is the 30th of December at 1 o'clock. Search for God's Study Group is Mondays, and that's virtual. And also of note, we are still having the 20% off sale at Soul Things. So if you are in need of some Christmas gifts, a little last minute shopping, feel free to stop by. There's some wonderful stuff there. Christmas Eve services will be held at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. It's the culmination of our holiday, and it offers beautiful music and a personal candle lighting as we celebrate the hopeful narrative that is the Christian Nativity. The 6 o'clock service will offer live streaming and youth and family ministries activities. Coming in January is the Comfort of Prayer. That will be Tuesdays, January 3rd through the 24th at 7 p.m. You are invited to explore affirmative prayer with Barbara Thorpe, licensed Unity teacher, and friends. She's got some special friends, I hear. Read early Unity leaders, including co-founder Myrtle Fillmore. Gotta love me some Myrtle. Pick up your complimentary copy of the Comfort of Prayer in the gift shop and register on the calendar page, unityinlynnwood.org, to receive weekly assignments and the Zoom link, because this class will be virtual. And it is a great introduction or refresher to affirmative prayer. Also, the Basics of Unity membership class will be Sundays, January 8th through the 22nd, following this service. Joining members are invited into this overview of the history of Unity and its 5 tenets, expectations of membership, ministry bylaws, and policy. God love yourself some policy will be included. This is a requirement for those wishing to join Unity in Lynnwood and an excellent refresher for existing members. The class will be offered on-site and virtually. Finally, if you would like an end-of-year donor letter, please write or ring the office. Oh, and I think I missed this, the offices will be closed between Christmas and New Year's, and rightly so. With that, I'm done.
Good morning, Unity Lynnwood. For those who may not know, I'm John Brooks, and it's been my honor and pleasure to serve on UIL's Board of Trustees for the past 4 years and as the chair for the last 3. I'm bringing you this morning some very positive and happy news. Before I do that, though, did you feel really great with everybody up here on stage singing this morning? Huh? How about that? Matthew, hats off. You did a great job with the team. Okay, as you all have experienced in one way or another, and during the last 2.5 years of the pandemic, has been difficult for most and tragic for some. Thanks to UIL's pre-existing online capability and our outstanding technology staff, we were well positioned to weather the storm. But as you know, the pandemic was not without impact. Our cash flow suffered in 2020 and 21, and was to some extent buffered and obscured by the positive impact of the government's PPP loans that were forgiven. In the first quarter of this year, it became clear to the board and administration that the $5,000 to $6,000 per month of reduced offerings required some difficult decisions. As a result, some staff positions were furloughed, and for others, salaries were reduced. These circumstances were not unique to UIL, but almost unilaterally felt across U.S. houses of worship. The departure of our beloved Associate Minister for a promotion to Senior Minister of Unity in San Antonio was happy for her and sad for us. However, it also freed up some budget. That, together with the most successful fundraiser in UIL's history, the October Gala that netted $53,000, your board, with the support of Treasurer Jack Eckram, the Finance Committee, consisting of Ken Ury and Bev Templin and Dr. Richard, has been able to propose and approve what we consider to be a conservative budget for 2023. Our 2023 budget will restore all of the furloughed positions and restore all of the 2022 salary reductions to the Q4 2021 levels. That means the Youth and Family Minister Director, our volunteer coordinator, and the band will return as fully compensated staff beginning in January 2023. Let us celebrate both those individuals' enduring commitment to UIL and this community's ongoing support. Wrong page. I should also make note here that support from our online community has been robust and also continues. We give thanks for all who are being spiritually nourished by Dr. Richard's lessons, the music ministry, and all that is offered on Sundays and throughout the week in special program offerings. I have to tell you that it was a most joyous moment when, after serious conversations, that your Board of Trustees decided that we could restore all of the salaries and furloughs that were negatively impacted by the pandemic. It is our hope and intent not only to do this, but as finances allow, to make whole those of our staff who have sacrificed deferred raises and to do so as soon as it appears possible. We give thanks for the unity in Lynnwood community's faith, for your prosperity consciousness, and personal and physical contributions. But in conclusion, please celebrate with us that your Board of Trustees sees this decision as a major turning point for unity in Lynnwood after the ravages of a once-in-a-generation pandemic. In short, I am happy to say, thanks to you, we are back.
If you feel so inclined, you might catch the eye of someone else in the room and just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Say thank you for the gift of unity in Lynnwood and Lanewood, both really. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. Let's close this time, as we always do, by returning to that, let's call it a technology, let's call it a practice, let's call it an exercise. Let's call it prayer. It matters not what one calls it. Let us close the outer eyes that would speak to us of the limitations of the manifest world, the separations of the manifest world, and let us consider God, such as we understand God to be. Let us turn our attention to God, ever present, never absent. God, ever present, never absent. Ever present, never absent as wisdom, as the harmonizing, restoring power of love, as a sufficiency to all unfolding, evolving souls. God, ever present, never absent as life, life that presses itself into form. Life. So if you're like me, this gives rise to a sense of gratitude. I experience it in the very heart of me. Gratitude to remember that there is that at the center of me, that ever present, never absent, that is for me. So I bask in that gratitude for a moment. Just holding it there. And as I begin to reconsider what it might mean to reopen these human eyes, I make a decision yet again this week not to abandon this consciousness, this gratitude, this higher knowingness. I make a decision not to abandon that, not to leave it as a momentary experience, but to carry it forth, to allow it to become the very lens through which I perceive, the very lens by which I perceive events and people, circumstances, choices. Allow it to become the lens through which we perceive each other. Expressions of God, ever present, never absent. So it is.
Let there be peace on